Welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders by interviewing amazing guests to encourage us all to rise up. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Goddess Show podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders. And today we are joined by the amazing Jules Brooke. Welcome to the show, Jules.
Thank you so much, Tula. It's lovely to be here.
Oh, great. I love your look too, by the way. And I'm going to tell our listeners and viewers all about you right now so that they know who you are. Jules is the founder of Handle Your Own PR. She's the boss and Australian Women Speakers. She's the boss group is for women business owners 45 plus. The group runs over 70 online and offline events nationally in Australia per year. She hosts a podcast called She's the Boss Chats and another called She's the Boss Disruptors. She's the Boss YouTube channel and She's the Boss Directory.com. Jules is also a speaker and coach around visibility and how to become a woman of influence and hosts international business retreats every year. She's a super connector and loves to encourage women to lift each other up and back each other. And Jules, that sounds absolutely amazing. How do you fit it all in? And I think we touched on a very, very interesting topic, which is around women's visibility. So tell me your thoughts about, but before we launch into questions and everything, I'd love to hear your perspective about that.
Well, I believe that we don't see enough women out there. There is a woman that I interviewed who was the wife of the Deputy Prime Minister of England, who has started a group called Inspiring Girls on the back of some research she did that said girls 11 to 16 say they cannot see role models for the jobs that they would like when they're older. And I think personally that's because women are not very visible in business. I also think that as you age, particularly, you become more invisible, which is weird because it's at the same time as you're reaching your peak power and you actually have got runs on the board and know what you're talking about. So I encourage women to get out there, make themselves visible as role models, but also people can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. So another reason to make yourself visible is to actually have a viable business. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I think you touched on some really important points, and I think women do deserve to be more visible. And of course, you have to be able to talk about what you do. Otherwise, as you say, how can people find you?
Exactly.
But it's interesting to me that these young girls don't have role models. I mean, that's really sad to hear,
Well, particularly when you think about what they consume. So it's mainly television and video. And where are the TV shows about women in business? They just don't exist. In fact, I set up She's the Boss on the back of hosting a show on Ticker TV for 6 months around female business owners. And that's when I discovered some of the appalling stats around women in business and visibility and decided I could do something about it.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic, and congratulations on your great work. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I personally, I come from the entertainment industry, and at the ripe age of 52, which is part of the point I'm going to make about visibility. And
great.
Okay, at the age of 52, I had this vision or this guidance, whatever you might call it, even if it sounds airy-fairy, to empower women.
Right.
So I did some research and I was absolutely horrified to find that around 80% of Australian women don't have superannuation to retire on. That's just one thing, let alone becoming visible. And this thing about invisibility is actually a fact, except for one thing. I think that in this day and age, we see a lot of, specifically celebrities, and we're not all celebrities. We can't, all.
But that's my point, Tula. That's my point. All we see is female celebrities. We see the Naomi Simpsons and the Janine Alice and the Melanie Perkins, but where are the normal women? Where are the women like you and I? So that if you aren't a blonde model looking girl, that that you can still succeed.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to state the point that you're never too old and it's never too late. I mean, at 52, coming from the entertainment industry, I knew nothing about business, nothing at all, you know.
No, which is very common.
Massive learning curve, you know. And I think that what we have to think about is how old our actual spirit is. Because I know that personally, I'm a teenager in spirit. So even though we are getting older, we don't feel like that, you know, even if our bodies do require more maintenance. So it's never too old, and you're never too old, and it's never too late, you know.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm about to turn 60 this year, and I started both Australian Women Speakers and She's the Boss group into my mid-50s.
Fantastic. I think that's so inspiring to our listeners and viewers, and I'd love to hear from you. Now, I'm going to launch into the first question here for you, Jules.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you for something personal, which I hope you don't mind sharing.
No, not at all.
What would you say are some of the biggest personal obstacles you've overcome on your way to success, and how did you do it?
Okay, well, I guess one of the biggest ones for me was my marriage breaking down. I have 3 sons, twins who are now 20, and another son who's 25. But my marriage broke down when the twins were about 4. And I have had to run my business as well as, you know, providing for and looking after 3 children. So that has been a challenge. However, I'm a big believer that women are able to do a lot more than they think they can do. And that, you know, you just take one step in front of each other, and slowly but surely, like they say, you can't eat an elephant except one spoonful at a time. You can't grow your business except one day at a time. So I just took it day by day. The other thing is, like most women, my businesses are all self-funded. So again, that means that our businesses tend to be a bit slower to grow because we're reinvesting what we make into the business. And I would have loved to have had a partner who was earning a whole lot, or a business partner, or an investor, but I never did. So that's always been a bit of a challenge as well. And I've also, on the back of that, brought friends and people that I really admire into my business as partners with me, and not all of those have succeeded. And that can really throw you, particularly as a woman, I think, if what you think is your support network turns out not to be. So they're just some of the obstacles, I guess, that I've overcome.
So how do you think you did it? I know you said you take one step at a time, but what was happening for you internally? You know, what was your driving force?
I am super practical and I'm super resilient, and I kind of thrive on disasters. It's a weird thing, but it's just, you know, my type of personality. So what do? I normally freeze for about a day, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Oh my God, my life is over. And I have all of those moments that we all have. And as I say to a lot of the women that I work with, you're only allowed a couple of days of that. And then you've really just got to go, right, what am I going to do? Yeah. So then I sit down and go, what am I going to do? Which for me often involves reaching out to other women or other people that I trust in business and going, I found myself in a really horrible situation. What should I do? I'm a big believer in your support network, and that we as women should all be supporting each other, I guess. And so that has proven to be true many times in my career. I mean, I've been running my own businesses now since I was like 22, and like I said, I'm about to turn 60.
Oh wow! So am I. You're not a fire horse, are you?
Of course I am. This is the year of the fire horse.
Fire horses, and you know, this is our year. This is the year of the fire horse. So it's about putting ambition and into action, like really taking action and taking life by the horn. So I'm really happy to meet another fire horse. That's fantastic. This is our year. Awesome.
It is.
Great. So now tell me, just for our young, you know, aspiring female entrepreneurs, what were the first steps you took to get your business up and running?
Okay. And now I kind of do this because I work with a lot of women to help them set up businesses too, because so I'm doing this all the time. I'm very weird about the way I do it. So firstly, I decide on a name, and then I go and see whether I can get the domain for that. Then if I've got the domain, I go and build Facebook pages and LinkedIn pages, because I think that's really important. Then I build a website, and then I go out and start connecting with people. So that's kind of how I do it.
So you set it up first and then you go for it.
And then I absolutely go for it. I start pouring out on, I've got quite a big following on LinkedIn. So I go onto LinkedIn, I go into Facebook, into all the communities that I know, and I announce it. And then I feel like I'm committed. I have to do it.
And then, yes. You have to put your money where your mouth is. So that sounds actually a lot like me too. I tend to jump on in the, on the deep end.
Yeah.
I do it, and I've done it this time as well. I mean, most people would keep their jobs maybe and start a business, on the side. I went all in.
Yes.
This is great. Just do it.
That to me, I mean, because the thing is, I don't fear failing either, because I think it's normal, and I'm very happy to share with people if things haven't worked out, which is friggin' loads of things, because I'm always trying things. But someone said to me today, it's amazing that you don't kind of come up, like I'm not highly strategic, so I don't come up with a big strategy and a big business plan. I come up with a name and an idea, and then I push it out there and I see if it works. And then if it does work, I kind of go, right, what am I going to do now? But for me, I love the launching of things.
Love it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you now, how do you keep motivated through difficult times? I mean, you've talked a lot about it, and it sounds like you're very resilient, but is there a specific method that you use?
No. That's the simple answer.
Great.
No, well, hang on. What I do is I always take some time out to think about it and get a little bit of perspective, because it's very easy when you're in the weeds and you're in shock and whatever to start acting in an irrational way or to panic and overly work on something. So I always take some time out. I always like to have a chat with a friend, and then if it's something that I need to action, I will kind of break it into smaller bits and go, what can I do right now to get it started? And then what am I going to have to do every day to make the change happen that I want to happen, or whatever it is.
Thank you for sharing. I think mentioning smaller bits is really important because it avoids overwhelm.
That's right.
Something little every day, you'll get there. So
that's right.
Thank you. That's really great. So my next question to you is, what is the best advice you have received recently that you can think of, if any?
Okay. The best advice I have heard recently. Actually, I've had some really interesting stuff around partnerships, because, like you say, the stats for women in business are terrible. We do own 50% of all the world's social enterprises, so we're very good at giving back. But I also feel that, oh God, I've completely lost. Okay, the advice. I've lost my train of thought.
The advice you have received recently.
Okay. So I'm going to do a slight change and say this is the advice that I follow and I give loads of other people, which is to find a niche. So, for instance, you're working with visionary women. I'm working with women 50 plus, but that is still a huge niche market. I work with a lot of people who say, I work with women. I want to empower women. And I'm like, oh my God, what woman are you talking to? So I always say to people that the more you can niche your business, the better it is. And
actually,
if you've got to have a picture in your mind of who you're talking to. So probably the best advice I've ever had is, I used to say I work with small business owners. Then I said I worked with women who are small business owners. Now I work with women 50 plus that are small business owners with established businesses who've got a global idea. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love
that. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think niche. Yeah, that's really important. Thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. Okay. So, do you have like your, I won't go into a whole list, but a couple of, say, really favorite business tools that you like to use?
Okay, well, you asked me that and I wrote a little note of myself. So what I said is Google. I am a Google woman. I adopted it about 3 or 4 years ago, and I love it because I used to freak out if I lost my laptop or if anything ever happened, and now everything's in the cloud and I don't care. And also because I can share with people, and now because Gemini is inside. So if you're paying for Google anyway, you get Google Gemini and Google Gems for free, which is better than ChatGPT. And I absolutely love it. So Google is my main tool. I practically run my business off my phone. So I am a massive phone user of all the apps that are out there. And then LinkedIn is my other secret sauce. I absolutely love LinkedIn. I have managed to grow it organically since I started Choose the Boss. So in 5 years, I've got it from 1,500 to nearly 12,000. And they're all the right women. They're all the female CEOs that I want to be connected with. So that is a huge tool for me. If I need to find someone, if I need to promote something, if I'm looking for a sponsor, if I'm looking for partners, if I'm looking for staff, everything comes from LinkedIn for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's great. So I want to know what's up next for you. What are your current goals and how are you striving to achieve them?
Okay, my current goal is to grow my business. Because I'm turning 60 this year, I really want to sell it in a couple of years. And so I'm looking for ways that I can automate things, streamline things, document things so that I'll be able to hand it over to somebody else who can pick up the mantle and keep going, hopefully, and do as much as they can to help other women. But so what I'm trying to do is grow my business and diversify and try a few different things. My vision in the long run is that I would like to work one-on-one with women from all around Australia, which is what I do at the moment, but I'd love to do it on a deeper level with only a few of them, live overseas or do house sitting, which my partner's been doing for 3 years. And I love the idea of doing that overseas, and then running international retreats for women. So I've got one yeah, so I did Bali last year. I'm doing Vietnam this year. Next year, I'm going to do India and maybe the Philippines. And I've decided that it ticks all my boxes of getting women away from work so they can have a bit of perspective on their business and work on the strategy. It works for me because I love traveling and I am very well traveled, so I'm not nervous about it. I think there's a lot of women 50 plus that want to travel and are scared to do it on their own, or their partner doesn't want to do it, or they're single and they're looking for groups of women to go away with. So that kind of ticks all my boxes and is something I'd like to look at as my sort of main strategy in three years, something like that.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And actually, it sounds a lot like what I'm planning to do too. And it's great because we're planning to travel a lot as well. And the best thing about it is living a laptop lifestyle. I mean, I'm a huge advocate, you know, automate, using systems to automate, living a laptop lifestyle. You can work anywhere in the world. It's fantastic.
That's right. That's right. So the other thing, I guess, is to bring everything as much as I can online, which is about 80% of my business now. But I am known for running in-person events in Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and all over. So I'm putting ambassadors in place now to start. So we've got one on the Central Coast, we've got one in Brisbane, you know, so that I don't have to be at all the events, but they will still go on and women will get that connection.
That sounds great. In fact, we're running an event on the 11th of May. I'd love you to come. I'll tell you all about it. It's a VIP exclusive event for business women specifically, but only 10, you know, so it's a
love that. I think I'm busy. I think I'm down in Melbourne on that day, but it sounds fabulous.
Oh my God, we'll have to meet. Okay. So now my next question, because we are running on time, are you currently running any promos, contests, or giveaways?
I have just introduced, we have a thing called Light Membership of She's the Boss, where it's only $100 a year. And for that, they can come to my Friday online lunches that I run once a month and get a listing in our directory of women-owned businesses. And so that, if you join our Facebook group, we are giving away memberships I think we're doing it every week. Other than that, no, I don't have a lot of promotions. I mean, I've got the Vietnam retreat. I've still got one spot left. I've got lunches that I'm doing in Sydney and Melbourne and Adelaide, and I've got a lot that I'm promoting. I'm just about to launch an inner circle event and And for my 60th birthday, I'm doing a retreat. I'm hiring a hotel in in regional Victoria, about an hour away. And I'm going to get 20 women to just come and spend 2 days with me in luxury and doing spas and
Oh, it
things
sounds
with an
amazing.
umbrella of this is professional development, so we can all have it tax deductible.
Oh yeah, good idea. So when is your birthday?
My
You said,
birthday is the 4th of September. It's myself and Beyonce the same day.
oh wow,
And
mine is the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. And the same day as
I
Audrey.
love it.
So Audrey Hepburn was born on that day as well. So we're both 4s as well. How amazing is that we should both meet? Oh, it's incredible. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. Now, what advice would you give to other aspiring female entrepreneurs?
I have a very simple advice, which is do it. Just don't let anything stop you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about failure. Don't worry about what friends and family will say. It doesn't matter. Just do it and see whether you like it and see whether it works. So I'm a big fan of do it and keep going and find yourself a support network, because as women, it makes a huge difference to our success if we do have that network of support.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because
My pleasure.
We do have to give ourselves permission to just go for it, just go for it. Thank you so much. So how do we connect with you?
Well, like I said, I'm a LinkedIn freak. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm the pink-haired woman who's got a sort of like I've got an explosion before my name. I also have a Facebook group for She's the Boss, which is a public group, and you can find me there. You can contact me via my website, but really, if you really wanted to get to know me, go on LinkedIn. All of my profile is in there, everything that I'm up to, and I'm very easy to contact.
Awesome. So are you under Jules Brooke, or She's the Boss on LinkedIn?
Well, I teach people about LinkedIn, so I'll tell you now, everyone should be doing it under their name. You don't buy from a business, you buy from a person. So you'll find it under Jules Brooke. There is a She's the Boss group page and a group, but really you want to connect with me, not with my group. You can go into my group on Facebook though.
Fantastic. So listeners and viewers, did you hear that? You have to connect with Jules. She's running great events, and join her Facebook group. And that membership sounds really awesome too. So Jules, thank you so much for being on the show. You are just amazing. And I'm really honored and happy to meet you. And I can't wait to connect with you again myself. And I hope you have an amazing year, and I wish you amazing success.
Thank you so much, Tula, and good luck with what you're doing. And thank you for shining the light on all these great women as well.
Oh, bless. Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Gotta Show podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you next time.